Have you ever dreamed of visiting Europe's most beautiful cities only to find them overcrowded and transformed by overtourism? Sadly, this is becoming a harsh reality for many iconic European destinations. Want to know which places are most at risk? Today, we're uncovering the top 10 European cities in danger of being destroyed by overtourism. Can you guess which cities made the list? Make sure to subscribe to our channel. 1. Venice, Italy. Venice, a city of canals and breathtaking architecture, is on the brink of losing its soul to overtourism. With over 1,200 residents fleeing each year, the historic center is transforming into a tourist-filled luxury zone. Once a vibrant, lived-in city, Venice is now a hollow shell where tourists outnumber locals daily. With 50 million plastic bottles sold annually, waste is also becoming an alarming issue. Efforts are being made to regulate the influx, entry fees and tourist group limits are being imposed. The ban on cruise ships docking close to the city is also a step toward restoring balance. In a city that feels increasingly like an amusement park, locals lament the deterioration of Venice's culture and cleanliness. Tourists often treat the city like a temporary attraction, unaware of the lives it impacts. The Venetian government has taken steps to curb these problems, from fining tourists to banning large cruise ships, all in an effort to reclaim Venice's identity. But will it be enough, or is Venice doomed to become a lifeless monument of its former glory? 2. Amsterdam, Netherlands. Amsterdam's charm as a historical city is being overshadowed by its party tourism reputation, causing discomfort among locals. The city welcomes millions of tourists annually, but many come for its infamous red light district and lenient cannabis laws, contributing to a negative reputation. In response, the city has started banning cruise ships, reducing their number from 190 to a planned 0 by 2035. An online campaign, Stay Away, targets specific keywords like Amsterdam Bachelor Party, warning tourists about the consequences of disruptive behavior. While tourism brings money, it also brings problems that Amsterdam struggles to contain. The city is attempting to reshape its image from a party destination to one of cultural heritage. The government's strategy involves reducing the number of cruise ship tourists and limiting errand rentals to manage overtourism while protecting the city's historical essence. Amsterdam's story is a cautionary tale of a city attempting to reclaim its identity from the hands of irresponsible visitors. 3. Santorini, Greece. The picturesque island of Santorini is under siege by mass tourism. With only 15,500 residents, the island receives over 3 million visitors annually, turning its serene streets into a crowded spectacle. We can see visitor numbers that exceed the island's population, causing residents to retreat indoors to escape the chaos. The mayor has since limited the number of cruise ship passengers allowed to disembark daily to 8,000. Additionally, new accommodations for tourists, especially errand listings, are being restricted. Santorini's beauty is undeniable, but its charm is being eroded by overcrowding and strain on resources. The island's economy is heavily dependent on tourism, yet the volume of visitors has become unmanageable. Though measures are being taken, it remains to be seen whether they'll be enough to save this gem from becoming an over-commercialized spectacle. 4. Paris, France. Paris, the city of love, has seen a surge in overtourism that is straining its infrastructure and residents. While 15.5 million people visited Paris in 2023, their presence has contributed to a housing crisis as property owners prefer to rent to tourists for higher profits. Parisians find their city increasingly unaffordable, and neighborhoods like Montmartre have transformed into tourist hubs with little local presence. Protests are erupting in cities like Etretat, where Netflix's Lupin has drawn overwhelming crowds, risking natural landmarks like the cliffs. The pressure of maintaining Paris' allure while managing its overwhelming tourism is mounting. Visitors, while bringing economic benefits, are also blamed for the deterioration of the city's famous landmarks. Local governments are trying to balance tourism with the needs of the residents by improving regulations on short-term rentals and limiting crowds at vulnerable spots like Mont Saint-Michel. 5. Hallstatt, Austria. The tiny village of Hallstatt has gained global fame due to its Instagram-worthy scenery and a surprising resemblance to the town in Disney's Frozen. With fewer than 1,000 residents, the village attracts over 1 million tourists annually, causing overcrowding and disrupting daily life. To cope, residents have implemented parking limits allowing only 350 cars and 40 buses per day. Anti-selfie barriers and markets exclusive to locals are further measures to reclaim their space. The charm of Hallstatt lies in its tranquility, but with such a large influx of tourists, the village risks losing its identity. The surge in tourism has not only driven up prices but also created a feeling of alienation among the locals as they battle to maintain their community spirit. The question remains, can Hallstatt protect itself from becoming another victim of mass tourism? 6. Barcelona, Spain. Barcelona, a cultural hub known for its stunning architecture, is facing growing unrest due to over-tourism. Locals took to the streets in 2024 protesting against the rising cost of living caused by short-term rentals for tourists. Housing prices have skyrocketed by 68% in the last decade, forcing many locals to move. The mayor has responded by increasing taxes for cruise passengers staying for less than 12 hours and reducing the number of short-term rental licenses. Barcelona's beauty and vibrancy have made it a prime destination, but that popularity comes at a cost. While tourism boosts the economy, it also drives up living expenses and displaces residents. Measures to limit cruise tourism and short-term rentals are steps in the right direction, but many fear it may already be too late for Barcelona to preserve its unique character. 7. Rome, Italy. Rome, the Eternal City, has become a magnet for millions of tourists, turning its historic center into what some describe as an amusement park. Iconic landmarks like the Spanish Steps and the Colosseum suffer from constant wear and tear, with some visitors even vandalizing these ancient sites. The cost of tourism isn't just on the monuments. Locals feel displaced by swarms of visitors crowding the city's narrow streets and driving up costs. Despite its allure, Rome struggles to balance its role as a living city and a global tourist destination. The influx has led to bans on activities like sitting on the Spanish Steps, with hefty fines for violators. Authorities are taking action, but with the city's international reputation, finding a sustainable way to manage tourism remains a daunting challenge. 8. Dubrovnik, Croatia. Dubrovnik, often referred to as the Pearl of the Adriatic, is overwhelmed by tourism, largely due to its appearance in Game of Thrones. With a population of just over 41,000, the city hosted 1.5 million tourists in 2019. UNESCO recommended limiting visitors to 8,000 per day in the historic center, but this has not been fully implemented. Efforts to minimize noise pollution and implement luggage delivery services to reduce congestion have been introduced. Dubrovnik's charm is undeniable, but its small size makes it vulnerable to over-tourism. Tourists flock to experience its medieval architecture, yet the locals are increasingly frustrated with the crowds. If stricter measures are enforced, the city's appeal may deteriorate, turning it into a place devoid of authentic local life. 9. Athens, Greece. Athens, the cradle of Western civilization, is struggling with over-tourism that is transforming its neighborhoods. Historic areas like Koukaki are now dominated by short-term rentals, pushing residents out of their homes. Although 7 million tourists visited in 2023, the wealth brought into the local economy is minimal, with each tourist contributing just 0.4 euros on average to an Athenian resident. In response, Athens has begun capping daily visitor numbers to the Acropolis, one of its most iconic sites, and is considering extending this limit to other archaeological sites. The aim is to preserve its cultural heritage without overwhelming the local population, but the city still faces significant challenges in balancing tourism with the needs of its residents. 10. Iceland. Iceland, a land of glaciers and volcanoes, is facing the early stages of over-tourism. With a population of just 380,000, Iceland welcomed 2.3 million visitors in 2024. Certain natural landmarks, such as the canyon featured in a Justin Bieber music video, have suffered damage, leading authorities to restrict access. However, tourism remains essential to Iceland's economy, contributing 8.5% to its GDP. While Iceland is not yet in crisis, local officials are keen to manage the growing number of tourists before more harm is done. By imposing temporary closures and advocating for sustainable tourism, Iceland aims to protect its stunning natural landscapes while maintaining a healthy relationship with the influx of global visitors. Have you visited any of them recently? Let us know in the comments and feel free to share other destinations you believe are being affected. If you found this video eye-opening, don't forget to give it a like, subscribe to our channel, and hit the notification bell so you won't miss any of our future videos.